What is up, Patriots? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because today we are reacting to something that has the left absolutely melting down. President Trump just said what millions of Americans have been thinking for years about Ilhan Omar and our immigration situation. Let's break this down, and I'll give you my honest, unfiltered, right-wing American take. Grab your coffee. Grab your flag. Let's go.
And we're letting some great people come in. They have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan Omar. Did you see that wise guy? You know, she's always talking about the Constitution provides me with the following. You know, the Constitution, she comes from a country that's a disaster. It's considered, I think, it's not even a country, okay? It barely has a government. I don't think it does. They go to one thing, pirates. But they don't do that anymore. You know why? Because they get the same treatment from us as the drug dealers get. Boom, boom, boom. I don't care what ship they're attacking. When they attack, when we say them going in, ping, that's the end of that. It's amazing. You know, I don't know if you know, drugs coming in by water is down 97%. And we're trying to find out who the other 3% is because we consider them the bravest people in the world.
Trump opens by saying we are letting great people in, but they have to show they love America and be proud of this nation. I will never apologize for agreeing with that. That is not radical. That is common sense. Every country on this planet decides who comes in and under what conditions. Japan does it. Canada does it. Australia does it. But somehow when America says, we like people who actually love this country, the mainstream media acts like we committed a war crime. If you're coming to the United States of America, the greatest nation this earth has ever seen, you should be proud to be here. You should wake up every morning and thank God for the opportunity to build a life here. That is not a lot to ask. That is the bare minimum. And Trump is the first president in a long time to say it out loud without flinching. Now it gets spicy. Trump calls out Ilhan Omar by name, and immediately the left will say this is racist, xenophobic, un-American. You already know the script. But let's talk about Omar. This woman was brought to America as a refugee. This country opened its arms to her, gave her safety, education, opportunity. She gets elected to Congress and spends most of her time criticizing and undermining the very nation that saved her life. Trump pointed out she constantly hides behind the Constitution. The Constitution provides me with the following. And look, I believe in the Constitution more than almost anything. But there is something deeply ironic about someone who pushes policies many patriots find anti-American, then wrapping herself in the Constitution the moment anyone holds her accountable. You don't get to use the Constitution as a shield while treating this country like the villain of the world stage. Is Trump's delivery always polished? Sometimes he fires from the hip in ways that make even me wince. But the core of what he is saying, millions of Americans believe. We want representatives who love America. We want leaders who put this country first. That is not controversial. That is what every elected official should do by default. Trump calls Somalia a disaster, says it barely has a government, links it to piracy. And I can already hear 1,000 blue checkmark journalists typing their outrage articles. Was he wrong on the facts? Somalia has been one of the most unstable nations on earth for decades. Civil war, famine, al-Shabaab terrorism. And yes, it became literally synonymous with piracy in international waters during the late 2000s and early 2010s. These are not right-wing talking points. These are documented historical facts. Now let me be fair. The Somali people themselves are not the enemy. There are hard-working, decent Somali Americans who love this country and contribute to their communities every day. My issue is never with the people. My issue is with ideology and with elected officials who use their platform to tear this country down instead of build it up. When Trump uses Somalia's history to make a point about immigration standards, I get what he is doing. America took someone in from one of the most broken places on earth, gave her everything, and she became one of this nation's most prominent critics. That is a legitimate frustration, and millions of Americans feel it. This part fired me up. Trump says pirates now get the same treatment as drug dealers. Decisive, lethal force. Boom, boom, boom. And he claims drug trafficking by water is down 97%. If those numbers are even close to accurate, that is a massive achievement the mainstream media will never give this administration credit for. Because their job is not to inform you, is to keep you angry at Trump around the clock. Think about what 97% reduction in waterborne drug trafficking actually means. Less fentanyl on our streets. Less poison killing our kids. If a Democrat president achieved this, there would be ticker tape parades and documentary films. Because it is Trump, it gets buried. And I love that he called the remaining 3% the bravest people. Classic Trump. He uses humor to make a deadly serious point. Those traffickers know the consequences and still try it. That tells you how ruthless these cartels are, which is exactly why we need a president equally ruthless in fighting back. Here's my bottom line. Trump said things today that the political establishment has been too cowardly to say for decades. Whether you love his style or not, the substance resonates with tens of millions of Americans. We want people coming here legally, gratefully, and proudly. We want officials who actually love this country. We want borders enforced, waters secured, and communities protected. None of that is hateful. None of that is extreme. That is just America first. And America first will always be the right call. Smash that like button. Drop a comment below. And subscribe, because we're never done. God bless you. God bless our troops. And God bless the United States of America. Let's go.